Like, how evolved and mature is voice bots right now?
They are actually surprisingly evolved and matured. Like so
For
much
Indian
so that
scenario.
yes, so much so that a lot of the customers who are receiving these calls from our voice bots, they are not even able to understand that they are actually speaking to a bot and not a human.
And what are the use cases that you've identified where voice bots can actually play a big role?
When you're talking about voice bots, there are fundamentally two types, right? One is outbound calling where the bank calls the customers,
Right.
and then there is an inbound calling where the customers are calling the bank, right? Now, inbound is a huge world. You're going to, because you don't know why the customer is calling you, whether the customer is calling you because she has an issue with the loan that she's taken, or she wants to open up a new account, or is an existing bank customer.
Thoughts. What is your vision with AI? How will the world look in next 5 years?
With AI coming in, the way the customer interacts with the bank is going to be very different. Like especially with the strides made in generative AI,
Right.
any kind of customer interaction will be augmented with AI.
Viswesh, thank you so much for joining us. For our listeners, can you give us a brief introduction about yourself? What do you do? And
So I'm
Your role.
Viswesh Sivaraman. I work at IDFC FIRST Bank. I'm with the digital transformation team, and within that, I look at AI projects.
interesting. And you did mention about voice bots and the niche use cases that you're exploring
Right.
them for. Like, how evolved and mature is voice bots right now?
They are actually surprisingly evolved and matured. Like so
For
much
Indian
so
scenario.
that yes, so much so that a lot of the customers who are receiving these calls from our voice bots, they are not even able to understand that they are actually speaking to a bot and not a human.
Okay.
Now, folks working on the voice bot team, of course, all of us do know that, okay, these are voice bots, right? When we are testing it, when we are listening to it, and we have a knack of also listening to it again and again and again. So if I get a call from a random voice bot, I'm going to be able to understand that, okay, I'm speaking to a voice bot. But for a lot of humans who are our customers, they're not able to understand it. So while it's a very small niche area, right, where we are doing so well over here, but at the same time, this is something that was unexpectedly better for us, right? We were not expecting as good a response as we have gotten with this. So we
Very
thought that we
nice.
were building something very small, but ended up being much larger.
Okay. And what are the use cases that you've identified where voice bots can actually play a big role?
So, like what was discussed in the panel today as well, right?
Yeah.
Some of these, when you're talking about voice bots, there are fundamentally two types, right? One is outbound calling where the bank calls the customers,
Right.
and then there is an inbound calling where the customers are calling the bank, right? Now, inbound is a huge world. You're going to, because you don't know why the customer is calling you, whether the customer is calling you because she has an issue with the loan that she's taken, or she wants to open up a new account, or is an existing bank customer who wants to get another product. She has a savings account, she wants to get a credit card, or vice versa, right? The universe is huge. So we started off with outbound use cases first, where
Right.
the bank is calling the customer, right? Now there are a few cases where the bank would want to customer cross sell, upsell,
Right.
and then there are even collections use cases, etc., where we are trying to recover money from the customer, etc. And a lot of the customers, it's just not. In fact, I would say most of the customers, the problem is not the intent to pay. It's just that they end up forgetting, or they have some mandates that they don't know that that failed. So it's more of an information. So it's just a touch point that the customer needs a call or someone. Okay, the bank is not forgotten about you. We need this, right? So the outbound use cases is where we actually see a lot of maturity right now.
Okay.
Because it's very easy for us to make a bot with a single purpose. Whether now if this bot is going to sell you personal loans, then the bot is just going to sell you personal loans, right? If you ask about, okay, can I get a credit card, can I get a home loan, etc., just like the human caller tells you today, sorry sir, I am only authorized to talk about this particular product that I'm selling. The same way we do it with our outbound voice bots today.
Very interesting. Now, when you talk about digital transformation, voice bot is just, of course, a piece in the transformation pipeline. What are the other things that really excite you and you look forward to it?
Things that excite me, I mean, voice bots in itself excite me a lot, I would say.
Yeah.
But see, there is like, we are just getting started with AI. The reason why we even chose voice bots is because, we don't want to be in a place where we are investing a lot of money within AI and we are not getting much value out of it. So voice bots are one of the easy, like low-hanging fruits which will give us value immediately, because you have mostly banks and NBFCs tend to have a call center shop,
Got it,
wherein they are not employing their own bank employees, whereas it tends to be non-bank employees, etc. So there's that cost you can cut down almost immediately.
True.
And again, we are not at that maturity level wherein a voice bot can essentially replace a human.
Okay.
We are not there yet at all. But at the same time, we can qualify leads. We can make the humans much, much, much more efficient, right? Without going into too many details on the numbers, with the voice bot leads, etc., the human agent is able to convert 4x to 5x more,
Wow.
per day.
It's very good.
But the lead itself is qualified, right, compared to cold calling. But still, the humans are able to do so much more that you don't need as many human agents potentially in the future, right? So voice bots are exciting because they're giving us that immediate advantage.
Right.
Having said that, there is so much in deep tech, like when AI comes into the business of lending itself, right? Because we have so many data sources today, right? We have, of course, whatever interactions they have at the bank, but with things like account aggregator, etc., we also
Right.
have the data that the customer, the data of the customer interacting with other financial institutions as well. So with all of this coming in, using AI to do some of this decisioning in lending, to using AI for these purposes does excite me more. But because these are use cases which are yet to come in, right? And on the same hand, when we're talking about AI versus generative AI, these use cases actually have been in play for quite some time. So
That's
almost
what I heard, yeah.
almost all the banks have some kind of a decisioning system which is based on big data, etc. So it already exists, but the level of maturity that we could expect, this to gain would be so much more. That's a space in addition to voice bots and all, which excite me a lot.
Very nice. On the closing thoughts, what is your vision with AI? How will the world look in next 5 years?
It's a little tricky situation, because if you're asking me from the banking industry perspective,
Yeah.
As a customer, I'd be excited, right? Okay, that there is, because so much, there is a lot of interaction that customers are just not having with the bank because it's tedious, right? Or it's going to take a lot of steps, with AI coming in, the way the customer interacts with the bank is going to be very especially with the strides made in generative AI.
Right.
Any kind of customer interaction will be augmented with AI. Wow. So fundamentally, how mobile banking sort of changed so many things. How on how you interact with the bank once you have the bank app on your phone.
Right.
You're going to see that level of transformation with AI coming in. Maybe with the banks will essentially, I'm not saying they're going to go away with the UI immediately, but you're possibly just going to have something like a chat that you just speak to this, bank chat app, and okay, you want to know the balance, just ask it. Just speak to it, just ask it, and it's going to give you everything rather than, a proper UI. And I don't think so that's going to happen anytime soon. Okay. But yes, that's the end state vision that I see, that how customers interact with the bank is going to get completely upended by this.
Wow, interesting thought to end with. Thank you so much for sharing your views on AI and the world of AI. Thank you.